Hi, cities. How are you doing? Welcome to Niacin. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I have said this several times that some people actually do not want racism to stop. And this is also something that I have noticed from the way they act, the way they speak. Because one thing I know so far is that people's words or people's intentions sometimes mistakenly come out from their mouth without them even knowing. Or sometimes they say without knowing that they said it. And that is absolutely something that I have learned from these people. I have said this in several times on this channel that I am not very sure about how these people actually want to work to see that the system that has been oppressing people that look like me most especially is being dismantled. Why? Because that system actually benefits them. And so how do you want them to dismantle something that benefits them? That is actually going to be a problem. And if you look at this video, you absolutely will understand that this is also the point. They come out, they try to gaslight you, they try to manipulate you, make you feel like there is nothing like racism again and all that. I mean, that is them saying, but they knew that there is, right? Because if there is nothing like that, why are we seeing black fatigue all over the internet? Sincerely speaking, these people are just good at playing silly games. Let's get into this video.
Yeah, so let's talk about this real quick. So something that's been kind of interesting for me to process through a lot of these conversations is that I'm realizing Black people are way more relevant and important to a lot of the fabric of certain conversations than a lot of people are willing to acknowledge. So many people seem to be basing a lot of the way that they move around Black people, whether it's positive or negative, right? You have people on the left who are actually using their indifference to anti-racism as a way to court people to their version of the left. Then you also have people on the right who are obsessed with utilizing racism as a way of getting people to vote against their best interest, right? And these people, take Black people out of the conversation, some of this stuff works a little bit less functionally. Do you know what I mean? Too many people rely on Black people existing as sort of a permanent lower person, something that exists beneath, right? They don't really want to entertain the premise of a Black person being equal, not really, because they both sort of rely on a Black person's inequity, right? Democrats rely on racism existing on the right to sort of argue, oh, this is why you should vote for us, right? People on the right need racism in order to get people on who would probably be on the left if their politics are reflective of their class, right? And racism allowed a lot of them to think, okay, these billionaires are on our sides, billionaires who have screwed them for centuries. They were suddenly able to be like, oh, well, these billionaires are on our side. Why? Because they both don't like Black people, right? It's actually kind of becoming a little funny, and I've been saying this a lot recently, but one of the, I think, unintended effects of the right becoming so vocally and loudly racist right now has been that for me personally, I'm not really offended by white supremacy anymore, because it's an inferiority complex. Do you know what I mean? Like, these people do not understand that the world would function if they let go of white supremacy. Like, they have such little faith in it, right? Like, in this conversation, contextually, right? You have people who are in the Unfuck America tour who are in so many ways saying that racism is so central to both the people that they're trying to reach and the people within the organization that it's not really productive for them to organize against it, right? It's not really productive for them to remove those people because at the end of the day, these racist white people on the right aren't really going to listen to black people, right? They don't really give a fuck about black people, right? So it doesn't really actually matter to them that these people are being anti-black, right? Then you got people on the right who have been telling these people forever that the biggest issue in America is people of color, right? Like I just saw something about Section 8. Apparently they're getting rid of Section 8, right? So many people believe that the only people on Section 8 are black people, right? I've never been on public assistance. I've never been on public assistance, right? Personally, right? I've known a lot of white people who have been, right? There are so many people who are on public assistance, so many people who are included under things like DEI that are outside of just black people who are being harmed right now, right? And these people were able to use their racism to get these people to vote against their rights. You know, it's all just very interesting to me. It's all just very entertaining to me. Because at the end of the day, white supremacy is a death cult. And these people are holding on to it desperately because it's like one of their only main sources of power. That's really what it comes down to, right? A lot of white people have such a small vision of what the future could be that they genuinely cannot figure out what the world would look like without white supremacy. So much to the point where they are willing to let it thrive purely so they can continue having the conversations they're having. Like, really. You know, get somebody else to do it. You know, that's how I'm feeling at this point.
MAGA. You guys remember that euphoria you've been on ever since Donald Trump promised you guys if y'all put him back in the White House that you would not be having taxes on tips, that your tips will be 100% yours? Remember that? Do you also remember Trump promising you that there would be no tax on overtime? That you would get all your overtime tax free? Or do you remember when he said that, Social Security won't be taxed anymore? Well, the bill is out. And the only thing in that bill that he promised would be in there, is it actually in there? Is raising the 1%, dropping the 1% taxes down to an all-time low. See, he promised you that he'd look after you, that he'd put more money in your pocket, the working class, right? That's what he promised you. All those rallies, you guys were going off in those rallies when he said that. You were just raving, cheers, all cheers to the Almighty. You were probably even yourself some too, huh? How does it feel to finally find out that it was all a lie? How does it feel? Y'all believed everything he said. Everything. You believed everything. And he's not holding on to one promise that he made y'all, that he swore to y'all that he would do for you, because he loves you all so much. You guys remember those speeches? Well, the Republican budget is out. There's no indication in that budget that there will be no taxes on OT. There is nothing in that budget said that there would be no taxes on tips. There is nothing in that budget that said there would be no taxes on Social Security. However, it is saying that he is going to lower the 1% taxes to the lowest it's ever been in American history. I'm going to say that part again. He's going to lower the 1%, him and his buds, he's going to lower their taxes to, lower than they have been in the entire history of the United States. Y'all gullible. You so gullible that you kill me. He knew. He knew. I don't even know how he kept a straight face. Standing up there lying, bald face lying to y'all ass the whole time. Not one thing has this man promised has he done, other than mass deportations. That's it. Mass deportations. And I hope y'all take that and wrap yourselves around with it at night and cozy up and get you a good night's sleep, because that's the only thing y'all got out of selling y'all souls to Donald Trump. But you know what? I know y'all gonna figure a way. You're gonna figure a way to excuse this, to justify this, just like you do everything else you do. But that's cool. However you get through the night, that's your thing. But as for me, I just got one question. I got one question. Is it great again yet? Is it great again yet, knowing that you will not be getting no taxes on overtime? Is it great again yet, knowing that you will not be getting 100% of your tips with no taxes? Is it great again yet, now that you know Social Security will not be exempt from tax? Is it great? Is it great again yet? Because my friends, they just keep hammering me with this question, and I haven't got anybody in my comments to answer it yet. So I have to keep asking, is it great again yet? Oh, Lord, enjoy your tax-free. Happy Thursday, guys. Listen, I got a little bit of something I wanted to run by y'all this morning. You guys remember back when Trump first got in office, he was pitching in invading Mexico because of the drug cartel problem, and how they wanted to use that as a reason to go and invade Mexico. Remember the cartel issue? There's this notorious cartel family named El Chapo, and they're notorious. I think they said the father was arrested, and I think the son is taking over something. Anyway, the real story behind this is Trump has allowed and is bringing in 17 members of this notorious cartel, El Chapo, who he deemed terrorists. This very cartel he deemed terrorists. He's allowing 17 members of his family to enter the United States. So MAGA, that immigration, getting rid of all these horrific criminals, these killers and rapists and drug dealers, that's why he's doing it, because he wants to rid the country of all of that bad, all those bad people. Well, he's bringing them in. You see how he keep playing, y'all? He tell y'all one thing, and then he goes back and does the absolute opposite. Instead of running the cartel out of business, he's bringing 17 members of the most notorious cartel into the United States, into your backyards. Yeah, they crossed over. They showed them with suitcases coming in from Tijuana. Yeah, and guess what? He didn't even talk to the Mexican government. He didn't see if they wanted to press charges against them or anything. He's just bringing them in. I wonder why. We all know the cartel has what Trump loves above any and everything. You know what I'm saying. He done sold y'all out again to a crime-ridden, dangerous cartel. Are you scared? Are you shaking? Are you hiding up under your beds now? This man is going to be the ruin of all of MAGA's lives. And guess what? Thunder just clapped. Woo, that was dramatic. I just heard a thunderbolt clap. Even my man upstairs on it. But I'm telling y'all, y'all did the worst thing you could have ever done, was put that man in this office, and now you are paying for it daily. First it was the South African immigrants coming in, getting all the benefits he's snatching from y'all, and coming in taking all this farmland. Now it's the cartel, the very ones you guys are deathly afraid of. The ones that's got y'all hiding and going buying all these pew-pews and voting for Donald Trump because he's gonna save us. Well, he's bringing them into your backyards. And I'm quite sure all they had to do was just, and it was on. So, I just wanted to bring that in. I wanted to keep the ball rolling, because I want to keep bringing this vital information to Trump voters. I want to keep letting you guys know every time he bends you over, I want y'all to be aware of it. It's what I do. So, y'all have the damn day you deserve. And before I get out of here, I just gotta know, MAGA, is it great again yet? Y'all watch it back, them cartels are here.
White exhaustion is knowing that the only time white people form a community or come together is when it involves their hatred of other people, other ethnicities, other races. White exhaustion is knowing that the only time the majority of white women scream all women is when they feel left out, is when something directly affects them. I've seen so many white women come on this app and other social media apps, and they'll tell you out of their mouths, white women don't know how to community. White exhaustion is knowing that a lot of white women wouldn't be as racist as they are if it weren't for their men, if it weren't for their patriarchy. And a lot of them are too afraid to not go along with the patriarchy. White exhaustion is white people continuing to look at black people as a monolith, yet demanding that they be viewed as individuals. White exhaustion is watching two white men fight, reading the comments, and finding white men cheering them on. But those same white people will watch a video of white people antagonizing a black man who accepts their challenge and calling him ghetto.
Fucking mouth before I beat you. Can I have you understand? Oh yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I want this.
Y'all remember that white man that said he was going to sponsor a white South African family? Because him said, I can't just sit back and let them mistreat them poor white people like that. So he did just that, y'all. He paid for them to come over here, let them live with them, giving them money, feeding them, clothing them. Baby, fast forward. They took all that man money. They took that man retirement money, baby. They took it all.
This is all I got from this video. And like she said that they sincerely want racism to continue to thrive. And this is something they are doing. And I am also in support and of the opinion that there is actually no need trying to educate them, because these people actually know what they are doing. Sometimes we feel like maybe they don't know about, some certain thing, but they didn't know. And like I have said this thing on this channel several times that they are really working overnight. When I say overnight to make sure that racism continue to exist. Why exist? Why did I say that? I said this because I have brought so many videos here about them saying some certain things. And when you hear people say things like this, it means that there is something behind it. Sincerely speaking, these people are very lucky that people that look like me are never ever trying to revenge or trying to do something. The only thing they've been working on is just to dismantle the system that has been oppressing them. And the fact that they do not actually know what Black people are going to do or can do or cannot do, because they have lived with these people for how many years? Still, they do not know anything about them. I don't know if this does make sense. They've been living with Black people, but they don't know anything about Black people. That is to tell you how bad it is. Black people know them so great that they don't even know themselves. Because if you are not scared, tell me how somebody woke up and said, I did not, or I am not going to vote for this woman, right? Because if I do, it means we are going to be at their mercy. That is, they will be at people that look like me's mercy. Why would they be at Black people's mercy? They know how bad they have treated my people. So they are scared that if they get that chance or the opportunity to handle that position, what is going to happen? We might be kicked out. And somebody said, we are going to vote for Orange Man. Why? Because I do not want my husband or our husband to depend on Black men. Because if he becomes the president, automatically Black people are going to thrive, especially Black men. And if Black men hold on to power, that it may not, or if Black men have more opportunity, that the opportunity might not circulate down to their own people, leaving them behind. You can imagine that mindset. Instead of everybody gathering around to make sure that the system is being dismantled, they are still looking for a way to uphold that system by trying so hard to oppress you. And when they are also trying to oppress you, they lie so hard to make themselves the victim. I am going to draw the curtain here, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.